LonsdorK518 I'm currently sitting in a 2019 Toyota Avalon, which has the proximity smart key. I generated the Autel Universal Toyota smart key, and I am actually programming it with the Lonsdor K518 Pro. I did have to use the ADP15 adapter and go online to the internet. Even though I have a working key, most Toyotas with a working key, it just has you put the key up to the button and it grabs the emo data and allows you to add a new one in. This one, it still made me back up the emo data, so I had to use the ADP112, connect to the internet, and I was able to back up that data, and then it's going to use the data to go ahead and finish the programming. Alright, so bear with me because this is my first time going through this. So I just turned the ignition back to the on position, and I am going to go into add a smart key. Alright, so it told me turn the ignition on, do not start the car. Hit OK. OK. Alright, before executing this function, please make sure the device is well connected to the Wi-Fi network. This function can use a registered working key or emergency key to add new keys. I'm going to hit OK. Alright, so we got the option to either load the D-flash data, which that's what we just backed up, or we could use a third-party platform and get a 12-bit PIN code, which we're not going to do because we already have the data. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Alright, so it's telling me to select the file. OK. And that was this one, this very top file. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. So I'm not sure of the steps after this, how it's going to make me do this. This is my first time going through it. Alright, so I'll just cut in, I'll cut back in when, oh, here it goes, it's calculating now. Alright, so right now there's currently 2 keys registered to the vehicle and there's 5 empty slots. I'm going to hit OK. Alright, so it's telling me to put a registered smart key up, and then we heard the beep, and then we're going to put the new one up. And there it goes, it beeped twice. Alright, and then we're going to let the status bar get up to 100, and we should be hopefully done. So there were, when I generated the Autel Universal Key, there was like 4 or 5 different profiles. There's a couple of different boards for this particular year, make, and model of the vehicle. So if this particular one didn't work, I would have to go back with the Autel and reconfigure it. Or I can use one of the Lonsdor LT keys. I originally did, alright, so it tells me the key count is 3. So our key was added in. I originally used the Autel I key because I was planning on using my Autel KM100 to do the programming, but the battery on my 100 was dead and my IM508 wouldn't pull the data. So I switched over to the Lonsdor. Had I started with the Lonsdor, I probably would have used one of the Lonsdor LT20 keys. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hit. Alright, so it tells me to follow the prompts to finish the operation. Alright, switch ignition on. It's already on, but I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. Turn it back on again. Alright. Hold program smart key to the start button. I'm going to use the original key. Alright, we heard one beep. Okay, and it says programming complete. So I'm going to take the original key and just put it far away so that the car is not picking it up. Let me get in, shut the car off, shut off the hazards. All right, so I have no remote functions. All right, so I might have to go and regenerate this key as a different frequency, because it seems like the frequency is not working, but it did start the car when I held it up to the button. Let me just go and... All right, so yep, if I can't switch this in Autel to one of the other frequencies, I'm gonna go ahead and just switch to the Lonsdor LT series key, where I could just copy the information directly from his original key and put it into one of the Lonsdor LT keys, so that it already has the correct setup, and we can just go ahead and add it back in. Yep. So yeah, this frequency is not good. All right, so I did have a little fighting with this, but I did get it done. I did end up switching to the Lonsdor LT20 key, and originally I was, these keys, sometimes they have dual frequencies. So when I generated as the profile that was in Lonsdor for the 2019 Toyota Avalon, it generated as a 433 frequency key. It had dual frequencies, so it was 433 and I believe like 312. So I programmed the key in, and it would start the car if I held it up to the start button, but none of the remote frequency would work, much like that Autel key that I originally did. So I did some digging, and I actually scanned the original key with my Key Tool Plus and another scanner, and it was coming up as a 312 frequency. So what I ended up doing was going into Lonsdor and modifying this to, actually it was a 314 frequency. So then I'm able to get all the remote functions to work. I can leave the key there, the other key is out the car, and I can power on the car. It's a hybrid, so you can't really hear it start, but I can move, so it's all powered on. So with these newer Toyotas also, when you program a key, there's going to be a warning on the dashboard when you first start it up that a new key has been programmed to the car. Contact the Toyota dealership. You don't have to call the dealership. There's nothing wrong with the car itself. It's just letting you know that somebody programmed a new key to the vehicle. That way, no one could program a key, like borrow your car and program a key and steal the vehicle. There's nothing wrong with the car. I've read reports that, that will stay on the screen for up to about 17 days. And then it'll automatically go out. There's nothing the dealer can do. There's no need to call them. There's nothing wrong with the car. That's just how the system is. But yeah, so 2019 Toyota Avalon programmed with the Lonsdor K518 Pro. And I used the ADP15 adapter, backed up the emo data. You do need internet connection. And then I used the original key for add a key. And, you load the backed up emo data, and it gets you that rolling code that you don't have to use a third party to get the code from. And, just programmed it in as a regular add key. Just make sure the frequency is right. So if you buy an OEM key or, an aftermarket key, that, just make sure you have the right frequency. Like I said, and these are dual frequency, so I believe it has both 433. 433 might be for, just the procs, and then the 314 could be for the remote system. But yep, I was able to get it done with the Lonsdor LT series universal key. All right, thanks for watching. LakelandCarKeys.com.